Hi, YouTube. Happy Monday. I'm doing okay. Um, I had some fish and onion rings that Doug brought home takeout last night. He got sick. I thought it was good. My cat liked it, so I don't know. But he actually got sick on his plate and then said that he was thinking about going to the hospital. And I said, well, and I've been through this before, so I said, not the exact thing, but I said, well, I'll call an ambulance. And he says, well, not gonna I don't do ambulances. And I said, well, if it's that serious, that's what I'll do, you know. Then after a while, he did go sit in his chair in the living room, but closed his bedroom door without me knowing. So, with all the heat from the stove, I just about burnt up. Well, I sleep with the fan on quite often anyway, especially, well, any time of year. But, so I had it prepared where I could just turn it on and cool off. So I'm feeling a little better this morning. Been getting some work done today around the house, like scrubbing my sink and my stove and those types of things, laundry and dishes. And yeah, it's kind of cold out, a little bit gloomy. Um, Seems you can see me better if it's a little gloomy out because then the sunlight isn't coming in. And I was thinking maybe even next time if it's super sunny, I have closed my curtains before and then just used the fake lighting, and then we don't have that on and off again brightness like that. So, um, what does everybody think about the Ghislaine Maxwell trial? I'm sure you're familiar with Jeffrey Epstein's partner there, um, and their pedophilia and whatnot. Um, I don't think much is going to come out of it. I don't know if she's going to hang herself, and I do know that they're probably using it to keep our attention off of other things. Like all the mainstream would be talking about, like that Kyle Rittenhouse and everything else. But what else are they doing that they're trying to take our attention away from? Well, the demons are loose in full force. So the biggest thing we can do right now is pray for one another to keep strong and don't fall into any kind of delusion or anything that's going on in the mainstream, because our hearts being sound and our minds being sound right now, um, in this approaching uh, celebration season, it's super important to keep aware of what they're going to try and do. And what I think they're going to try and do, like the agendas, we all know they're playing out the scriptures like they always have, but with the food shortages and trying to force everybody into the cities to have total control over your life, your gas, your food, your housing, those types of things. A lot of people are saying and getting out of the city. They think they probably have like 16 months to a year, maybe 6 months to get out of there and to be able to protect themselves and or their families. You know, some people are going to stick it out, and I think it's going to be a rough one. I think on the East Coast, they're going to have some really bad cold snowstorms like Arctic blast and that type of thing. Um, I think Canada's going to be rather cold and not too snowy, though. And I don't think we're going to be very snowy here in the top of the middle of the Midwest. of the United States, I think we're going to have somewhat of a warmer winter and not as much snow as we usually do. And we usually have the Arctic blasts from Canada, but I think um, I think it's called the La Nina winds is the ones that will push the warm air further up towards us, but that will create more moisture coming up from the Gulf Coast that will hit over on the eastern side of the United States because there's a jet stream down on the bottom there and there's a jet stream up by Canada, and they both move from west to east. And the one from Canada normally swoops down and hits us, but I think it's going to be pushed back up and everything's still going to head east. So that's kind of what I'm thinking with the weather this year. I don't know. I don't think anybody can actually know, but maybe. Or maybe it's just wishful thinking, you know. So, yeah. But yeah, all this stuff is contrived, and I don't see how people can't see that, you know. I don't know. So, yeah, both the fish and the onion rings I wasn't supposed to have, but I did anyway. But I did detox today and took a vitamin, so it maybe didn't hit me as bad as it would sometimes. I think I did like last night have like cramping in my legs, and that is from the onions, but they were really good. And the ketchup, I had ketchup. Not supposed to have that either, but I didn't use much. I kind of like dunked it on the other thing that I'm not supposed to have, you know. So yeah, it was yummy. Yeah, I've fried so much fish in my life. For me, it was until I heard gagging noises and spitting and more spitting. Um, that made it a little difficult to enjoy. But I think that has to do with not having anything to eat on his part and starting to have a beer early in the day. That'll make one kind of sick. So, but people will never admit that. They're not like me. I'll go barf. I mean, when I drink something, I didn't even know I was allergic to alcohol, but if I did and I had too much, even one or two sometimes would be too much and I go get sick. Hey, I'd just say, hey, I just got sick. I can't do this. But some people aren't like that. It's like they'll never admit that's what made them sick. Gee, I just happened to drink too much. How about that? So, anyway, yeah, I guess on Thursday it's supposed to be about 50 degrees. Well, I do have a really nice, about a 12-pound turkey I'm going to make, and I've been wanting turkey for a long time. It was only 89 cents a pound, which is really great because there's some places they're paying like, what they say, like, I don't know, someplace like I think it was Russia or somewhere where they were paying like $140 for a turkey. And I suppose some states are worse than ours because we have a lot of poultry farms around here. Jennie-O turkey, if you're familiar, or I have a butterball made by Jennie-O, um, and it doesn't have any of the additive stuff. It starts with a T. Here I go. I go to tell you something, and then it's not triglycerides, but it's the stuff that makes you tryptophan, makes you sleepy, and that's naturally in turkeys. And some companies add more of it in there brine, and they shoot brine into the bird and all them type of things. So it doesn't have any of that in there. So yeah, so that should be good. I don't know. I have, I think, everything I need to make with it. I don't know. I might do like one thing at a time. I don't have a lot of room in my freezer, but I may make something today and have hamburgers tonight. If I take some hamburger buns out of there, I'll have room if I make stuffing. So I'm going to see if I can get that done. Or I could just have Doug pick up a box of stovetop or one of them generic ones or whatever. But homemade would be better. It always is. Then I'm thinking, see, we have a debate around here. He likes sweet potatoes or yams with brown sugar and butter on them. I don't. I just like them with butter, a little butter on them. I don't like, they're sweet anyway. They're called sweet potatoes. But, and I used to just hate them. People would put, I'll eat them now, and I don't hate it as bad. But people would put like the mini marshmallows or marshmallow on there and brown sugar and butter. And no offense if that's your thing, you know. I'm just not one to if it's a sweet food, I like it to be more of a dessert than actually my food. It's like glazed meats, or I mean barbecue is good. And that's got sugar in it, but I don't know. I went like decades of my life and I wouldn't even touch sugar. Could not, I just couldn't stand it. And fats. Now I'm like, well, not as strict as I used to be, but I really went over 2 decades, especially when my kids were little. That had a lot to do with it. But yeah. And then one day I just started. Oh, that was when I had my stroke and I was sick with my allergies. I wanted to eat everything in sight. I couldn't figure out what I wanted or why I wanted it. Like if I drank, the only thing that tasted good was milk. I drink a glass of milk and I'd feel satisfied. Well, I didn't know I had osteoarthritis, so with my bone problems and stuff like that, I was craving that, and I'd have some vitamins and I'd feel good. But if I ate, say, like if I ate some beef or chicken or any kind of vegetable, usually, or except a salad. A salad would kind of be satisfying for me, but other things, I don't know. Anything, like I say, it no matter what I tried to eat, there didn't seem to be enough. Like even Brussels sprouts, or which I like, everything. It's like there didn't seem to be enough vitamins in anything I was eating. I feel better now and I feel like I'm getting nourishment out of my food, but um yeah, it's not, even the food they say doesn't have the vitamins that it used to have. I believe that. Maybe that was a lot of it. Maybe it was genetically modified foods I was trying to get substance out of, and it wasn't good for me. So yeah, but yeah, I think I might be interrupted here in a little bit. Maybe not, but it doesn't matter either way. But what was that else I was gonna say something? I'll get there just a minute. mm, don't know. Guess because I heard Doug's chair squeak when he gets up. It's like, oh well, no big deal. But Yeah, last night was rather disturbing. It's those type of things that, wow, um, just having a meal to be able to digest it. If you can do that in peace, you are blessed. Let me tell you about it. I just did. For real. So, yeah. All my kitties were out there this morning. They were hanging around by the door because yesterday I had given them a great big can of turkey cat food, or it was turkey and giblets. And so they are, and then, I've scrambled eggs for them and everything. So, yeah, they're spoiled brats, you know. But yeah, they were hanging around out there this morning, so very early. And when the sun came up and Doug's cat was going, hello, hello, you know, talking to him out the window and running in the kitchen and talking to him out of the door and, behind the door, but out to them. So, yeah, they all have really thick coats. They're healthy, so that's good. And the one Yeti was had worms. He was kind of sick. I wormed him twice, maybe 3 times now since he's been here, and he's gaining weight and he's looking good. And he doesn't have any more. He had diarrhea at first when I met him, and then he just went to having a sick stomach, and now he's okay. So yeah, that's good. And I can sort of pet all of them. It's that little black one that he's on. I think the pump's going to come on. Maybe not though. But well, anyway, that little black one, she is such a spook, you know. So yeah, yeah. I usually wait till a little later to do my videos, but sometimes I guess it just depends. But um, I might be able to, or I guess I'm going to be able to talk to my granddaughters. We'll talk like once a week, do a video message, and so I told the mom that I would accommodate them instead of worrying about any time is good for me. I don't have school or kids or any of them to worry about right now. I mean, I worry about them, but yeah. So there was a really nice lady on my community Facebook page, or maybe it wasn't a lady, but person that had written, asked where all the homeless people were hanging out. They wanted to go and give them like bags of toiletries and different things to let them know that other people care and that they're human beings and that they're loved. And so people were telling them, different places like behind the technical college, there's a lake called Devil's Lake. And I said I had met one over by the dam on Cross Lake, and other people were, you know, saying, well, like even the homeless shelter here in town, that you could go and make donations, which is a good idea too. And then up in a place called Sandstone, they there's a recreation area up there. Well, there's also a couple caves, and the one cave is quite large. In fact, I used to take my kids up there, and when we went in that cage, it was just spooky. You could tell people had been in there, but I don't think they'll be in there during the day in this kind of weather. Or maybe they will, but I think it would be warmer outside than it would be in the cave unless they have a fire going in there, which they might. I don't know. But I don't know if they know about the caves up in there. And they may not see any people if they go there, but it's an old sandstone quarry that they would take the sandstone slabs and build buildings out of it, like humongous bricks. Each brick, like each slab, would be like 4 by 6 or that type of thing. They'd shear the mountain and then chunk it up and mine it from there and then build with it. Like even there's a prison up in sandstone and that's built with that. A lot of our buildings are like our government buildings and that type. So it is a pretty strong material, but if you know what sandstone it is still um, dissolvable by water. So, although it can be a good building material, it isn't like a forever thing, like granite or marble or that type of thing. But we have a lot of granite in this state. And people that live in Canada, you know, the Canadian Shield is all granite and it comes down to the upper part of Minnesota and over partly into North Dakota and over partly way up by New York in that area. So, you know, really huge amounts of granite up in Canada and out west. I mean, most of the Rocky Mountains are made out of granite, but this is like 30 miles deep and it's underneath us, you know? So, yeah, it's pretty cool. Cool. Well, we built our house on a rock, literally. There's probably a couple great big boulders underneath us. I mean, big, big. From what we can tell with the water table and how things are, we have artesian wells and a lot of springs. This is all water around us, but there's more water underneath us, like underground rivers and that type of thing, than there is above ground. So, and we have 10,000 lakes and multiple rivers and creeks in our state. So I could just imagine the ocean that actually is underneath me, which is a little daunting if you think about it, you know? It's like, wow. And if God wanted to be mean, the earth could literally swallow us up, you know? Down and away your troubles down the drain. Rotor rooter. That's an old um commercial for cleaning out your septic or your pipes, you know. Now they have one that drives me crazy if I have the television on. I've changed stations basically to listen to my weather just so I won't hear it because all I hear is I need a hero and it's like and it's for plumbing and repairs and it's like I just do not want to hear that one more time. To me it's like I don't know who's with me here, but Mariah Carey, all I want for Christmas is for you to shut the hell up and not ever hear that song again. You know. Anyway, that's how I feel about it. Yeah. Are you familiar with Helen Reddy from Canada? She was really popular. I think she's dead now. She was really popular in the 70s. She was the one that sang that song, I Am Woman. Well, she has other ones that are really beautiful. I mean, she was quite the artist, or is, I think, like I say, I think she's gone from us now, but she was really a cool lady, an inspiration to me as a young woman, or even a girl. I was still a girl when her songs came out, you know, and yeah, she was a cool lady. So if you don't know her, just it's just like it sounds, Helen Reddy. So yeah, she a lot of people used her song for like a women's liberation song, but she said that isn't really why she wrote it. She wrote it for her husband and her kids, and they took and ran with it like she was liberating herself from man when she was standing alongside him, not getting away from him. It's like, well, you know, but you know how people are. They'll use anything to their advantage. If they're shady, that's what they do. Mm. Speaking of shady, now I'll just say this once, and it doesn't matter because I don't entirely have my faith and trust in any man out there speaking about the Word of God. So I was talking about Israel News Live the other day. And in speaking, I could understand he indicated that he was who I thought he was with God in his heart, but was still trying to operate within limits that are placed on him by the dark cabal. And all I can say to that is good luck with that. You either are a direct opposition or you aren't. I mean, yeah, we have to be careful that we don't. I mean, nobody wants to die, but if you know that you live forever, I mean, you always exist, and you have faith that you're going to have a glorified body, what's the big deal? To me, it's not an issue. So, I go back to standing how I've always felt. If a man's not going to do it and speak it, I'm going to say it. And then when they do, a lot of them have tried to take credit for it. It's like, for instance, there's this Jonathan Kleck channel, and I don't know what he calls himself now, but it's like 13 years ago almost. I was writing on Facebook how the Vatican was a snake, um, the chair, and it was all serpent worship and that type of thing. And I was telling people about the Jesuits and even the Pope and the Red Shoe Society being made out of skin of children that are dyed red and different things like that. And a lot of people took my information, looked further into it, made like pictures and different things, and um, was able to get that information out to the public, but they're still holding back a lot of the truth. They're still doing whatever suits them, not what is in the best interest of every human being, our history, and our children's future. And so, with that, all I can say is God bless their journey, and think about having to come back and do this all over again if you don't do it right this time. So, is my cigarette or my swearing going to keep my soul here? Absolutely not. Anything you do in moderation. That goes for anger too. There's righteous anger. You be moderate with, well, I would say with everything but love and happiness. We can all use more of that. But, moderating substances and food and, you know, what we consume and everything, that type of stuff. So, but I don't believe if you have a drink and enjoy a couple drinks, or you have a cup of coffee and a cigarette, or smoke a cigarette and keep yourself healthy in every way. I don't believe my lungs are stronger than anybody I know. I used to hold my longest holding my breath when I was swimming 8 minutes and 53 seconds. So yeah, my lungs are strong still. So And yes, I smoked then too. I started smoking when I was 5 years old. I'm not telling anybody go smoke and like your faith in God is going to keep you from all diseases, but maybe I am. So that's my faith. I'm not going to get sick though, and even with my sicknesses that I have, even the car accident that pulled my spinal cord, these are things that other people did to me, you know. Even my concussions and dying and coming back, all of it was nothing that I did to myself. So, and that happened more than once. So, anyway, really, literally. So, anyway, um, well, I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I will be back with you. We have to really ignore what the mainstream is trying to push on us, and just remember we do not want to eat crickets and worms and that type of stuff mixed up in their funky food that they want to push on us like gruel as they live high off the hog. We all want, there's enough on this planet for everybody. And you know, if you had money and I had money, we would be the people going out there organizing the whole world. Here's a house, here's a car. What are you good at? Where can we trade? What can we do? I mean, it just takes a handful of people in every community to organize things. So never have any fear that you need any of these governments because we absolutely only need one Almighty. And that's God in our hearts, and everything else we can deal with. I always have. We always can. It always works out. There's never no need to worry. I'm not saying bad things won't happen or can't. I'm just saying when they do and if they do, we'll work through it and we will all be okay. Don't forget that. That's very important. You're always going to be okay. If you're not, let me know and I'll help you through it because I've been through a lot of things and I can tell you true. Don't worry about money. Don't worry about food. Don't worry how you're going to do things. And like I told Doug, he's like, well, we have to have this, or if you didn't have a home, or if you didn't have food. I said, if I didn't have anything, I'd still be okay. I always have been, and I always will be. So just keep strong, everybody, like that in your hearts, and don't let the fear of this world and what they're trying to push on you, and even any hatred, nothing, just let it go. Just like when you got people that are acting small, um, you can't necessarily look at them like they're a child because you know they're being led by evil. But you can know that that's not going to exist forever and their time is short. And um, there will be a day in the future. I'm not sure when, but I do have faith, all the faith in God. His promise is true. I'm sorry. You're going to be okay. I'll let you go. Don't worry, okay? I love you all. Thank you for joining me. Have a good day.